Welcome everybody. Today we're looking at phrasal verbs with the particle together. So lots of them are, there are lots of phrasal verbs with together, and you know what together means. It means when two things are either brought together or put together or joined together. So all of those will come up in today's lesson. So if things come together, they unite. And by the way, this often has no object, by the way. You just say the two sides came together. Maybe the two warring factions came together. But people can come together. They can flock together, crowd together, and herd together. And it means come together as a large group. It means exactly the same as gather together, which we'll come on to in a moment. But it just means they literally approach and meet and come together as a group. It could also be used metaphorically like unite, but it often means just gather together as a group. And remember that the opposite of come together would be come apart. If people come apart or break up or split up, that often means they fall out of love. And that's another way of understanding when people come together. Sometimes they get married, but they don't have to. People can come together for other reasons, because it literally just means come together. Now, different sides can band together, and usually this one means ally, which is an alliance is when you stand together, you remain allies, especially in politics, especially in difficult times. If two different countries stand together, they are allies, and it means they are sticking together. But we would use this stick together more often for friends rather than politics. And when you stick together with a friend, you look out for each other. You make sure that nothing terrible happens to each other. You stay close to each other and you look out for each other. You watch out for each other, make sure that you're both safe. So if you band together, you ally, just like stick together or stand together. Basically, you're staying together or keeping together. So a lot of these phrasal verbs are literally, they're what you expect them to mean. But you can also bring two people together, or love could bring two people together. Passion could draw two people together, which is exactly the same as bring together. Brings two people together and draw two people together. But two people come together, and people band together, or groups band together. So you can see that these have no object, but this one you have the object in the middle. Bring two people together, draw two people together. But if you are in charge of rounding people up, you gather them together. So gather people together is exactly the same as round up some people. Maybe you need to rope some people in for your football team, so you round up 3 or 4 friends, you gather them together, and you ask them if they would like to join your team. So arrange or assemble in one place. And yet, gather together can mean exactly the same as come together. If it loses its object in the middle, it becomes exactly the same as come together. Okay, if you get together with a friend, you just meet. It may be romantic, it might not be. And you can get things together, also arrange them or assemble them. This assemble, in particular, you ought to use put something together. I mean, maybe you've got to assemble a piece of IKEA furniture when it arrives. We would use then put it together. We're going to come on to that one in a moment. So very often, you might even say, I needed to get some stuff together. It means then arrange it. I think very often we'd use this for packing. I need to get my things together and go. I need to pack my stuff. That means I need to get my things together, get my stuff in my suitcase, arrange it all. By the way, arrange has got 2 R's. I do make spelling mistakes sometimes. And get it together, get it all packed. Now, if you hold yourself together, you maintain emotional composure. So you choke back the tears. You don't let yourself get carried away. You hold back your emotions. So hold yourself together. It's a good thing, it's positive, and it means you don't get too emotional. You don't let your emotions take over. You don't let them get the better of you. You don't suddenly lose control of yourself. And if you want to tell someone else to not lose control of themselves, you'd say pull yourself together. And it means don't let yourself get carried away. Don't lose control of your emotions. Keep it together. So all of these can mean maintain emotional composure in some kind of way, and get a hold of yourself would be another way of saying that. Okay, if you throw something together or knock something together, it means assemble it quickly, put it together quickly. So if you perhaps, not sure how we would use this really, but maybe you want your kids to have a go-kart, and so you knock a little go-kart together one afternoon with some wood and some wheels. You knock it together, you throw it together. It means assemble quickly, and often not with the highest quality resources and not with much time maybe. Yeah, it's quick. So you knock it together with what you've got. You throw it together. And this is very similar to knock something up. That would be another phrasal verb which means exactly the same as knock something together. Knock a go-kart up, knock a go-kart together. And if the go-kart is broken, then you need to patch it up or patch it together. You need to repair it. So if you patch something together, you repair it. Okay, I've already said that if you stand together, you remain allies. Sorry, got to keep an eye on the time because I've got a lesson in a moment. If you stand together, it means you say that you and another country perhaps, or you and another group of people maybe, that you remain allies. So it means that you're united. You stand together as allies, perhaps against a common foe, very often against a common enemy, a common foe. And so it really is about alliances here. But it's more often for politics, stand together, and stick together is more often for friends. Stay close so that we help each other. But remember that when you stick two things together, it also means to glue together. So it can be used in the literal meaning as well, and a metaphorical meaning of stay together and we can help each other and protect each other. Now, if you scrape some money together, you collect small amounts of money from various places over time. So it sounds like you're poor when you scrape some money together, and it sounds like you've asked everybody, maybe even begged your friends to lend you a little bit of money, and using those methods you've managed to scrape together a little bit of money. If you piece something together, it could mean put it together. You could piece together a jigsaw puzzle. But it also has a metaphorical meaning where a detective must piece together the evidence so that he can build an idea of what actually happened on the night of the murder. So it's reconstruct an event based on evidence. You piece the evidence together. It's very often used like that. Police have to piece the evidence together. Lawyers have to do it. And so it really does mean use your deductive powers to understand what took place based on evidence. Now, if you lump things together, it means you treat two completely different things as if they were the same. So people often lump turtles and tortoises together. They're not actually the same kind of thing. They're not the same species, they're not the same animal, although they're very closely related. Turtles live in the water, tortoises live on the land. And so you shouldn't lump tortoises and turtles together. They are actually two different things. So I hope you understand the sense of that one. If you lash something together, you join it together with pieces of rope. You could lash together a raft if the raft were connected with pieces of rope. But you could lash together anything which you tie together, very similar to tie something together. In fact, I ought to put that one down as well. Tie two things together. Tie something together, lash something together. Okay, you can fit something together, join something together, and you can only do that if they go together, no object. Yeah, if the two pieces of the jigsaw puzzle go together, then you can fit them together, you can join them together, you can piece them together. But only if they go together. If they don't go together, you've got to find a different place in the jigsaw puzzle. So put something together. Remember, the opposite is take apart. Take apart, put together. And if you cobble something together, it's the same as put something together, but it means improvised. You just did it at the last moment and you had minimal time and resources. Very specific. But you can use this even with an essay. You can say, I cobbled together an essay. It means I didn't have much time, I didn't have much data, much information to work from, but I cobbled one together and handed it in. So it sounds like a very well, not half-hearted, because you might have tried hard, but it's a last-minute attempt to get as high a mark as possible when you cobble together an essay. And you just do what you can with the very poor time and resources that you have. You have minimal time and resources. So that's quite common. Lastly, if you club together, which has no object, then you go in on something. You all chip in money to buy something together. So when you club together, you share the cost of something. You jointly contribute money to some kind of aim or goal. So please remember these other phrasal verbs. You can go in on a pizza. You can all chip in £5 to buy a pizza. And if you're doing that, you're clubbing together to buy a pizza. So remember, this one's got no object. This one's got an object, but it's money. And this one's got an object, but it's the object which you're buying, which you're sharing the cost of. Okay, I hope that's all clear. As you can see, there's quite a few with together. I hope that's, if you have any questions, please put them under the video. I've got to stop here because I've got a bad throat and I've got a lesson anyway. But I hope to see you all soon. Please like the video if you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.